नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़ाऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली वक़ुल रब्बि ज़िदनी इल्मन अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला सय्यिदिना मुहम्मद व अला आलिहि व अस्हाबिहि व बारिक वसल्लम Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam is the greatest good for greatest number of people. Verily you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam, are at the exalted standard of character. Wa innaka la ala khulqin azim. We are going to start back from where we left off. Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The book name is The World Changer, written by Muhammad Jibara. And this is page number 57. Finding the Zamzam well had not earned Abdul Muttalib leadership status, although he had some success in business. He had not become chief elder because of its wealth. Rather, the outsider had risen to the top ranks of Meccan society, primarily due to his linguistic abilities. When clashing tribes were at one another's throats, his diplomatic skills, particularly the ability to speak to each clan using their own dialect, and persuasive idiomas, averted conflict. When the Abbasian general Abraha besieged Mecca with plans to level the city and enslave its inhabitants, Abdul Muttalib managed to secure a meeting with him and convinced Abraha to turn back. Preventing war and carnage with words alone marked Abdul Muttalib as a unique talent and propelled him to the honored position of Makkah's chief elder. Abdul Muttalib recounted many of his own diplomatic interventions while sitting with his grandson on Abu Qubais overlooking the center of Makkah. As the sun set, he impressed upon the boy the importance of effective communication. Language was the basis of leadership. Because Arabs lacked standing armies, power came from persuasion. To be a leader, one had to be an eloquent, adept in nouns, and able to speak to people of different backgrounds in a way they could appreciate. Abdul Muttalib taught his grandson that the sign of true eloquence is when you can make the blind see, help the person who cannot smell experience fragrance, enable the person who cannot taste experience flavors, when you can awaken the senses and stir the emotions. The Arabic word for eloquence, fusha, described a process of revealing internal dimensions not visible from the exterior. An eloquent Arabic speaker could evoke vivid scenes that moved listeners to experience ideas with their senses. Abdul Muttalib knew that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would have to develop out standing Arabic to make a lasting impact. So he set about equipping the 8-year-old with such mastery. Abdul Muttalib began by explaining the fundamental building blocks of Arabic and the social context in which the language had been formed. He pointed to 3 key stages. Arabic as a Semitic language emerged among nomads who developed words related to movement, adaptability, and freedom. Then, when nomads began to form agriculture settlements, Arabic incorporated A new set of words related to planting, natural cycles, and growth. Finally, when small towns grew into urban centers, the people required new words related to structure, cooperation, and established standards. Each stage enriched the language. Abdul Muttalib noted that Muhammad ﷺ had already lived among the nomads and then experienced the agriculture climate at Yasrib. Now it was time for him to master the most developed linguistic context, elite urban communication, that drew on the early two stages while taking expression to a new level, sophistication. Nomads and farmers did not need to persuade others on a large scale. Their communication was primarily with family members, but to be a leader in a city required the ability to influence thousands of diverse people. The Semitic language had begun with alphabetic forms, created during the transition from the nomadic life to agricultural settlement. For the first time, individuals who were not related by blood lived together. They needed a way to create a new united identity beyond lineage. Recording words gave them a common reference point. Each letter began as an image representing common physical objects in the daily life of these newly settled communities. An ox for plowing, a house unlike the nomad's tent, and pitchfork for harvesting. These complemented pre-existing concepts represented by other letters. Body parts: hand, palm, head, eye, mouth, tooth, molar, back, chest. Tools: fish hook, ink holder, pitchfork, bow and needle. And animals: camel and fish. The Semites' innovation was to use these physical images to represent abstract concepts. The Alif A, based on an ox, came to connote mastery. The Bait Ba, based on a house, evoked belonging. The Meme M, based on water, represented life, flow, and fertility. So we are seeing another knowledge of the words symbolizing something. Arabic words was constructed by combining three letters into core roots. The three letters together fused separate concepts into something new and evocative. So the three root words, they were three separate concepts, and they were uniting to form a new and evocative concept, a separate concept. A, L, and H, the word for the divine, combined the concepts of mastery, guidance, and praise. Arabic used in 28 letters to form thousands of roots, each with different nuanced meanings based on grammatical structure. As Arabic had developed numerous grammatical forms, each with a unique meaning, the language contained myriad possibilities for expressing ideas. The Arabic term for these three letter combinations was Juthar root. Indeed, language was understood to be like a tree, with roots that nurtured a trunk supporting many branches, with each with its own sub branches and buds that blossomed to eventually become fruit. While the root words were concrete physical objects, they are concrete physical objects. Their fruits developed into highly abstract concepts. The link between the physical and metaphoric gave the language its power. So the link between the physical and metaphoric that gave its power. Since the Arabs lacked written books, most elders did not see any necessity to be literate. Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam noticed that they instead possessed a massive mental store of information. Members of elders' councils were familiar with at least 60,000 Arabic roots. And thousands of grammatical forms. Because Arabic was based on Semitic roots, elders were able to decipher other languages like Ethiopic, Syriac, and Aramaic in the region, allowing them to navigate markets in other cities like Damascus. Abdul Muttalib stressed to his grandson the importance of appreciating the context in which particular words developed. Most farmers and city residents would not be aware, for example, that the root SHMR used to convey safeguarding originally referred to a ring of acacia thorns that protected sleeping nomads from wild animals during the night. The root QRA developed among farmers to describe the blossoming of fruit trees. This was in contrast to the root ZHR used for all forms of blossoming, including fruitless flowers. The root image of blossoming evolved to become associated with the opening of the mouth to utter a command. Again, nomads or urban dwellers used the words constantly while remaining oblivious to the underlying physical concept. The root SLM had developed to describe repairing cracks in city walls and urban buildings, distinct from the root SLH used to describe repairing orchard walls. With time, the concept salam came to mean the safety of being surrounded by solid walls and then further evolved to mean peace, the absence of insecurity. Urban dwellers understood that SLM required scaffolding, cooperation, and regulations, concepts largely lost on nomads and farmers. The same word could have different meanings in different communities, even if they spoke the same language. The root DFA described helping someone become warm by building a fire for them or covering them in blankets. In Western Arabia, it became associated with making sure someone special was comfortable. In Eastern Arabia, it became associated with putting a suffering animal out of its misery. In one classic story, a leader from Western Arabia ordered that an elite prisoner be accorded every comfort, yet this soldier from Eastern Arabia understood it as a beheading order. The result was not pretty. Going back to the core physical roots of the words could unlock special meaning. Taqwa and amal both could be used to convey the concept of hope, while amal was built on the underlying concept of reveries. Taqwa referred to a rope used to draw water from a well. One connoted passive daydreaming and wishing, the other taking action, rather than simply hoping water would arrive at one's mouth. One could weave a rope to pull water up from a well. Thanks to his grandfather Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to possess the most powerful persuasive tool set of anyone in Arabia. Indeed, the basis for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam prophethood in Muslim tradition is the Quran, divine insights revealed via Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In traditional understanding, the miracle of the Quran is its language as much as its content. In a way, the Quran offers a window into the lost world of the elders. Creative eloquence. It employs their artis- artis- uh, artisanal approach to language, fashioning words into imaging and smells and tastes and emotions, only to forget a striking new message. It shifts among nomadic, agricultural, and urban modes, strategically referring concepts and situations familiar to diverse audiences. In the short term, the language talents bequeathed by his grandfather gave Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam the ability to connect with much older people. In just a few years, he would be able to hold his own when speaking with elders and quickly earn their respect. So this is, we did 61. Okay, let's continue for 15 more minutes. Okay, I'm gonna stop this video here. Inshallah, in the next video. This is a short video of 17 minutes. So this was all about the learning the Arabic language and the vastness of Arabic language, and Arabic language having the root words carrying diverse meanings, and one root word giving so many words, and Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam being mastering the Arabic language. And a reason, he went to the nomads, where his childhood, especially in the time period when you have all the language development, it takes place. You know that it takes place in first 6 years of life. It was the time period which he spent with the nomads, in the Banu Sa'd tribe. So a lot of the planning from the Divine Lord about the best human being on the face of planet Earth, and the man who was at highest pedestal of character. There was so much planning by the Divine Lord, and then he was launched in the Arabian Peninsula. So I will meet you in the next video. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayhi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.